Okay, what is going on, LBHT crew? B, we're back.
We are. We
We
are indeed.
are back. Yes, we took a week off, much needed break. All right. We work hard over here. We try not to miss any time, but we spent a little family time. Okay, time with the family, and it was a lot of fun. We're recharged, re-energized, and just in time for the NFL season. All right. Uh, Look, it's Wednesday, guys. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. No more Twitter. All right. Forget them. They're going to charge us to bring the hotness to you. We're providing a service for them. Okay. We need to be charging them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry about it. All right. Because it's easy to find us, easy to follow us. Okay. If you're watching us on Twitter, which apparently a lot of people were for a minute. Okay, that's all right. We're still here. Just go over to YouTube, go over to Facebook, go over to Twitch. There's all kinds of ways to watch us. All right. Also, we have a podcast. All right. It's just this show in the audio form for now. All right. You can find that wherever you listen to podcasts. Okay. And just make sure you give us a 5-star review when you do that. Who is in the chat? Our guy, Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films, is first. He says, first, my boy.
What's up, Coach?
Yes. What's going on? He said, take that, Bazel. Shout out to Bazel. Speaking of Bazel, there he is right there. He says, hi. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through. Yes. Got a guy, Just Aloe, in the house. Says, hello, LBHT crew. I hope everyone is doing well. Yes, indeed. Ferris, nobody can hear that. Ferris in the background playing horns. Nobody can hear that. What is this? What is this that just showed up on our screen now? Oh, okay. Bazel just donated $10. It says, what does it say, B?
I couldn't read it there. Let me pull it up on the Stream Labs.
What was that little baby cheering popping up on our screen? Did you see that?
I did not see it.
Okay.
I was busy being disappointed in Ferris.
Oh, boy. Okay. Appreciate you, Bazel, for a $10 donation.
Thank you, Bazel. Let me see if I can get to it. Oh, you can go ahead. I got to get to the tip page.
And shout out to Big Reg. Says, what's good, everybody? Thanks for coming through. MDT Sports says, guys, y'all miss me. What's up, guys? We always miss you, MDT Sports. Appreciate you coming through. And of course, Killer Cam is here. It says, hola, Jose. And also, mucho gusto, Brodny. Yes.
As always, It is nice to meet you as well, Cam. Bazel says, first comment, easy first donation is where it's really at, Coach.
Oh. Oh. Speaking of donations and comments and all that, the point system, we're gonna bring that back shortly. We shouldn't start. I mean, we should start next month, right? Should we start in September?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. We'll probably start in September. Maybe September. Let's start clean in September. Bring the point system back. All right. I know Coach started back up. We're gonna wait. We're gonna start clean next month. All right. But appreciate the donations. All right. If you want to be awesome like Bazel, how you do that is pay is. Thank you, Ferris. Yes, donations. Ferris you guys can't hear Ferris. He's in the background. We're gonna bring him up, but we can hear Ferris. He's very excited about the donations. All right. But the $ LBHT show, that QR code you see right there, that is our Cash App. All right. Also the pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our Streamlabs page. Both ways. You leave your donation, leave your comment, and you get that nice animation from Microphone Man, and we'll read your comment on air. That's how we do super chats over here. All right. Adelia, what's going on?
What's up, Adelia?
Shout out to Adelia. Yolanda, what's up, Yolanda? Says, good evening, LBHT family. Please hit the like on your way in the building. Indeed. And please make sure you subscribe. Yes. And look, subscribe to Yolanda's page, okay? Her channel, Ravens Talk with Yolanda. It's blowing up, okay? Also, Adelia and Ferris both have a channel. Okay, the Let's Get Ready Network. They have 2 channels. All right, get the Let's Get Ready Network, the Entertainment Network, and you got Let's Get Ready, the Highlights. That's your sports channel. Okay, dope content on both. All right, so go and support. And our guy Hendo's in the house. What's going on, brother? Says, what's up? I saw the kid on screen. Okay, yeah. See, yeah, he saw a little kid. Where'd that come from?
I didn't see no kid on screen.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
he was there. He popped up. I'm not sure what that was. Okay, all right. Ferris is eagerly waiting. Okay, I can't wait to bring Ferris up. It's always fun to bring him on the show and chop it up with him. All right, he got a fresh cut and everything. He's ready to go. All right. Do we have a Black History Fact today?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a Black History Fact. All right. Look, preseason is here. You see the title. We're gonna talk some preseason. We're gonna talk some WNBA. You know, we got a full show here. We're gonna try to pick it up a little bit. What's up, Ravensville? Thanks for coming through. We're gonna try to pick it up and you know, make it like an hour 15, you know, or less. All right, and then we're gonna hit the overtime show. All right, so we're gonna get this going. But first, you see that, B?
Yeah, that's not a child. That's Jonah Hill.
It was a child before.
Oh, I'm just saying, when I saw it was Jonah Hill. It's not a child.
Okay.
It's a Streamlabs Pro effect from Bazel. Thank you, Bazel.
Yeah, but why?
That's what I was assuming, because it popped up right before the donation this time. Gonna have to disable that.
Yeah.
We don't even have Streamlabs. Whatever.
Streamlabs is always trying to mess something. They always trying to sabotage something. All right.
Hey guys,
I appreciate it.
Part of your show? No. Oh, we already are. That's what they did to OBS. They're doing it to us now.
All right. We like to start every show with a Black History Fact, and B and Okole have a Black History Fact for you.
Welcome to this week's Black History Fact. John Baxter Taylor, born on November 3, 1882, in Washington, D.C. Taylor's legacy extends far beyond his athletic achievements. As the first African American to win an Olympic gold medal and represent the United States internationally, he left an indelible mark on sports history. Taylor attended Central High School in Philadelphia, where his talent as a quarter-mile runner began to shine. His lanky frame, standing at 5'11" and weighing 160 pounds, belied the speed and determination that would propel him to greatness. Later, he pursued higher education at the University of Pennsylvania, where he not only excelled in athletics, but also broke intercollegiate records. His dedication to both academics and sports set him apart. In 1908, Taylor achieved a historic milestone at the London Olympic Games. Competing in the 440-yard race, he sprinted to victory, securing the gold medal for the United States. His achievement was a personal triumph and a symbol of progress and breaking barriers. Taylor's win resonated deeply, inspiring generations to come. Regrettably, fate dealt a cruel blow just 5 months after his Olympic victory. Taylor succumbed to typhoid pneumonia at the young age of 26. His untimely death robbed the world of a promising athlete and scholar. However, his legacy endured. Taylor became a beacon for African Americans, demonstrating that talent, perseverance, and courage could overcome prejudice and adversity.
That is crazy. He died from typhoid pneumonia.
Yeah,
man, like people were dying from sicknesses, from illnesses that
we kind of think about that as if it was, forever ago. But I mean, that was 1908. It's not that long.
People still die from pneumonia.
Yeah.
In fact, like I'm older now, so my doctor stresses I have to get a pneumonia shot every year. I don't like getting any kind of shot of any kind. All right. Last time I went to a doctor, he he had tried to stick me with 3 different needles. I was like, what are those? And I was like, you go ahead and take those right back. I'm not getting any of those. And he's just like, all right, but you have to take this one. He's like, I strongly suggest that you take that one. So I got a pneumonia shot over everything else. All right. So if your doctor suggests that for you, you're older, please get it. I think Bernie Mac passed away from that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite comedians right there. I used to love the Bernie Mac show. Love the Bernie Mac show, man. That messed me up when he passed away. So take care of yourself. Go see the doctor. I get the paranoia. People don't trust doctors. People don't trust, these vaccines and whatnot. But when they tell you, hey, this one right here, you need to get that, you need to do it. All right. Okay. Ferris left us for a second, but he came back just in time. He's ready. Let's go.
Is he ready though? Like, because Ferris just be popping in and out. It is the most ridiculous thing.
Oh no, he's ready. He's got his game face on. He's ready. I see him. I see the intensity in his eyes.
He's ready until he's like, oh, you know what? I need something to drink.
And we got another donation from Coach Evans. What's it say, B?
Oh, it went away. Let me get it.
Okay, B. Oh, just want to mess stuff up. That's what it says. Thank you, Ferris.
Thank you, Coach.
I didn't see anything pop up on the screen that time.
Not that I saw.
Okay.
All right, but we are going to go ahead and bring in Ferris now and get into this NFL training camp talk.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the show, Ferris. I shouldn't. Whatever, man. You're here every week.
All right, just Al says, "Can I turn my mic up?"
Oh, wow!
How do I sound?
Okay.
Let me double check. Make sure I'm on my.
You sound good to me, but
yeah, you sound good to me.
It is low.
Okay.
Now it's up. Now they can hear it better.
Yeah.
Can you tell the difference?
Yeah. Why, just because I show up now, it's not special now, Brodny? Is that how we're doing things? Okay.
It's not special because it happens every week. It still warms my heart to have you here, Ferris.
Yeah, good save, bro. Good save.
Doesn't sound like it the way you said that, but all right.
I'm being sarcastic.
I was being very sincere.
That's just such a liar.
Wow. Well, okay. On to the NFL, I guess.
Yes. On to the NFL.
Ridiculous. We'll see if you're here next week.
And thank you, Just Aloe. Yeah. I thank you, Just Aloe, because sometimes our audio levels be low and y'all don't be saying nothing, man. Like I appreciate that. Thank you for the mic check.
Kind of mad at Just Aloe. Not gonna lie.
Why?
Kind of mad. Now, because at the event, bro, he left a little early, right? He could have stayed to the end of the event.
It was late.
Old man.
Man, we act like the man's 90. He ain't 90. I'm saying he could have chopped it up a little bit longer with us, man.
He played street ball with a dude named Just Aloe. He ain't young.
I'm just saying, man. He left
at the right time. He got there early. He got first dibs on the food. All right, chopped it up with everybody and got out of there before there was a mad rush for the door.
He was eating round Pop-Tarts, Ferris.
I'm just saying, man.
He left before traffic. Okay,
that's a good point. No, I'm just saying he just rolled up and said "Just Aloe" to me. Then he walked away. He didn't do it. No, I'm like, hey, you can't just walk away. I wanted to talk to the man. He just walked away from me. I was like, what's up with this?
He didn't even get his goodie bag. Did we ever send him something?
We did.
Oh, he got the goodie bag.
Yeah, we said so. Yeah. That is a little messed up, Just Al. Ferris came all the way from California to meet you.
That's what I'm saying, man. He just he saw me because he saw me. He rolled up to me. He's like, "Hey, Ferris, Just Aloe." I was like, "Just Aloe, what's good?" And he walked away. And I'm like, "Wait, Just Aloe, where you going?"
All right. So, speaking of the meet and greet, there will be no meet and greet this year. Obviously, we're working on it for 2025. So, if you guys are interested, we will keep you guys updated on that. We had a pretty good turnout last year.
It was good.
It was good. It was a little stressful putting it together. We learned a lot from that experience, but we put it together next year. Shout out
to the significant others. Shout out to them. Y'all are the real MVPs of the event. Shout out to all of y'all.
Oh yeah, it would have went down, but it wouldn't have went down like it did without without our women getting involved. Okay, so shout out to Kamisha, shout out to April, shout out to Coach's wife. Who else? Who else got
Tia.
involved? Tia.
That's
Hendo's,
Hendo's
yes.
wife. Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Tia. Shout out to
I got scared for a minute. Like I messed up the name. I was like, yo, did I mess up?
They took over at the last minute and they were like, yeah, what are y'all doing? Step to the side. We'll take care of this. We'll set everything up. So it went very well. All right. Yes. All right. You put Ravens training camp. I was going to talk about just the preseason.
Okay.
We had a game last week. All right, we had a game last weekend. All right, we got another game this weekend. But last week, Ravens didn't look great. Okay, I know it's preseason. I don't put a lot of stock in it, but we gotta talk about what we see. Okay, that's always been our thing. We talk about what we see. All right, and not really that concerned right now, but man, that offense looks bad. Okay, we have no backup QB. It's never been anything that I've been worried about before. I've never really been worried about backup QBs because if your quarterback's going to be down for an extended period of time, it's going to be trouble. But the NFL is different now. Okay, the competing teams make sure they have a quarterback that can keep them in the hunt while their starter, is recovering. As long as he can make it back. If the season ending, that's something different. But if Lamar goes down for any stretch of time, we're in trouble. We're in like a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and like you said, the league is different. It's 17 games now. There's an extra team from every conference. From each conference makes the playoffs. So yeah, it is easier to stay afloat with those kind of injuries, but not if it's Josh Johnson running onto the field, not if it's Devin Leary running out onto the field, not if it's Emory Jones running out on the field, and. I mean, look, they obviously, their starters didn't all play, right? I don't believe Zay played at all. Derrick Henry wasn't out there. Like their top guys didn't play. Lamar, of course, didn't play as he never does in the preseason. But for a team that gets all the praise for being so well built, having so much depth, being so well put together, you would think that the offense could function without some of those guys. But that just wasn't the case.
Yeah. Just Aloe says, Kim Akusic said that Rosengarten was not good in pass blocking last Saturday. I think Coach said that, he was kind of up and down in the pass blocking, run blocking. He was pretty solid. That's fine. He's a rookie, second round rookie. And I'm gonna say this about the O-line. I'm going to reserve judgment for a few weeks. Okay. They didn't look the worst. In my opinion, on last week, they didn't look the worst. They didn't embarrass themselves. Did they look good? Yeah, they didn't look great. Okay, but they're young. It's a new unit. We have a lot of moving parts. I'm going to wait. I'm going to reserve my judgment really until about week 3 of the regular season to see how they gel, how they start to come together. Right. So if they're not looking great early on, I'm going to dismiss that somewhat, as long as they're not out there looking like Villanueva. Okay, all I want to see from them is just to get a little bit better every week. She says, "Who's that guy on the bottom, looking so fresh and clean?"
So clean. Well, Sugar, I'm glad you asked. That is our guest Ferris, who happens to be a Giants fan. How do you feel about the preseason week 1 for the G-Men?
It was just a whole lot of nothing. You know what I mean? They wanted to work out that they didn't have set plays. They wanted a kind of like they wanted a vibe around the team. So he kept talking about he wanted the team to be more physical. He wanted a more physical team. Brian Daboll in press conference, we need to be more physical. And I think they kind of achieved that because they went out there and they definitely hit Dante Johnson, the linebacker, fighting Micah McFadden for the linebacker 2 spot next to Bobby Okereke. He came in, he had a good game, but of course you're gonna have a good game when the opposing team literally tells you we're gonna go more vanilla than vanilla. You know what I mean? Like it was like the Lions gave you nothing. It was just kind of like a 7 on set, like 11 on 11 in practice, going, kind of 90%, but not like full tilt. But yeah, there was that. Drew Lock was not good because it shows you,
What?
yeah, he ends up getting injured in the game. He throws a horrible interception, and you could see the line get better. The run blocking got better, but the pass blocking is still nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
and for New York, that's kind of just a reality setting in moment because that's just who you have. When you look over in Baltimore, what's up, Living Legend? When you look over in Baltimore, help is on the way in terms of Lamar, in terms of the rest of the starting old line, in terms of Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, who got into a car accident today. Thankfully, he's all right, and everybody else, nobody else was injured. But yeah, I mean, I think, like you said to begin with, Jose, it's the first preseason game.
hey, whoa,
It
Jay.
doesn't mean a whole lot.
Jay. Watch your mouth, Jay. Watch your mouth. All right.
Jay said,
I'm the trendsetter here.
Okay.
Ferris
watch
told his
him.
barber, give me
calm it down,
the
sir.
Andrew
Calm it
Tate,
down.
my dog.
Wow.
Wow.
Calm it down, bro. Calm it down. I've been getting this haircut since I was 8. All right.
Andrew Tate didn't invent the low cut.
No, he didn't. You had given a random brown, like, I don't even know what he is. This was originated by black people. This is black culture. You had just giving culture away. What is wrong with you,
Andrew
Jay?
Tate is black though.
Oh, he is? Oh shit.
He's like, I think he's mixed.
I didn't know this. My bad.
Wow. All right. So before this goes any more off the rails, let's talk about Carolina.
Wait, we're not done with the Ravens.
I mean, I'm sorry. We were talking about Andrew Tate's ethnicity, so I made an executive decision there. Did you have something else that you'd like to say about the Ravens?
Yeah. Okay. So I was talking about the O-line. I'm going to reserve judgment. What's going on, Danity? Yes. Welcome to the stream, Kings and Queens. Hit the like button and subscribe. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you coming through. And shout out to Jared. But yes, I'm reserving judgment for the O-line. I'm gonna give them a few weeks to really, put it together. They didn't look the worst. That's all I can really say. Defense, I have no real doubts about the defense. All right, the D-line didn't look the best either, but again, it's preseason. They find what they gave up, like 13 points, 16 points, something like that. The defense is fine. Trenton Simpson, coach had a good breakdown of Trenton Simpson, and Chris is joking. They said that he looked good but bad at the same time, right? Meaning he racked up a lot of tackles, played with a lot of energy, but kind of played out of position a lot of times too, which I expect. Is his second year in the league. He's playing the Mike position, which isn't going to be his position. When it's going to be Roquan, right? I just want to see somebody that's high energy and that can tackle, because when Roquan's out there, him playing next to Roquan's going to put him in the right spot, right? I just want to see him whiffing on tackles when he's out there. So I'm excited for Trenton Simpson, to be honest. I like.
Or the tackles positive tackles, or are they like negative tackles?
What do you mean by positive tackles and negative tackles?
Like I remember. Because I remember one year Chris Borland, the linebacker that retired at 26, that people made a big deal about.
Yeah,
he had like 20 tackles in the game, right? And everyone's like, "Yo, man, he had 20 tackles." And then you watch every single tackle; they were all 10 yards down the field, and he had like one tackle at the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Like, so they're all really. The tackles made no They made no effect.
I don't know what you're even talking about, Ferris. Because if he didn't tackle him at 10 yards downfield, they would have been 60 yards down the field. All right, Chris Borland.
Some of those tackles are also 6 yards downfield. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, with like a lot of tackles works in like fantasy sports for a linebacker. That's wonderful. But like, just because you have a bunch of tackles, you know what I mean? Like, don't really. You gotta the degree of a tackle. You know what I mean? Like, is it like I created this? This is, I don't know if it's already been created, but I thought of it. Like, a positive tackle is like anywhere between behind the line of scrimmage and 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, right? You know what I mean? That's a positive tackle right there. But if, like negative ones are like 10 yards down the field. Like, what about were the tackles positive in a sense, or were they just tackles?
I mean,
Yeah, I mean they have metrics for tackles, whether you consider it a stop or not. It'll be various percentages of the yards to go, right?
Mhm.
And when you get to third down, it's essentially did you stop them from getting the first down or not? Is what makes it a positive or negative tackle. I didn't look at the stat because again, this is a preseason game for Trent
Yeah,
Sims. I don't
that's a
really
good
care.
point. That's a good
But
point.
to Jose's point, I think the defense really is just they need to just get some experience with the coaching staff, and the defense is going to be just fine. Um, they're getting guys back, obviously. Guys who not that guys are hurt, but guys who didn't play in this first preseason game and probably won't play much during the preseason at all. But you're returning one of the best defenses in the league, even with the players that they lost. And Adisa Isaac is coming back from injury soon. TJ
yes.
Tampa looks like he's coming back pretty soon. So they have depth, they have talent. There was a guy who was meant to bolster some of that front seven depth who went elsewhere, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think the Ravens are just fine in terms of their defense. They just need to get the coaches out there calling plays in live games and just kind of get them used to their new roles, get them some experience there. The real question marks are on the offense, and we're just not going to know until the real games start.
Yeah.
You're right. Pay the bills.
It just Al says no one's going to mention that Bateman still sucks. Hey, look, I mean, no, it's early. It's early. Regular season, and honestly, down the stretch, going into the playoffs is when I really want to see what the offense can do. I know they're going to win games, man. Like they're going to win. Lamar's healthy. They're going to win. They're going to look fine. But when the competition really starts to pick up, and when we get to the playoffs, what can we actually do, right? I'm going to be paying attention to that later on in the season to see what these guys can actually do. Because, yes, Lamar can cover up a lot of things for this team. We can look unstoppable like we did last year. We did last year. But there are the telltale signs that the team wasn't that good outside of him, right? Him and Zay Flowers, okay? That was it. Isaiah Likely, he had some flashes. He was way too overhyped for last year. He looked good, but like he wasn't to call him a top tier tight end. That's a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Even now, like he's got to really go out there and show it consistently.
Tight ends need to ruminate. You know what I mean? It takes them about a year to get good. And then you have the freaks like Sam Laporta or Kyle Pitts. Like year one, you get 1,000 yards and 68 catches. And the Sam Laporta gets 10 touchdown catches, something Kyle Pitts would love in Atlanta. Like how do you have one touchdown your rookie year and you have over 1,000 yards? That's crazy to me still. Yeah, sorry, my bad. But like those are like anomalies. Most tight ends, it takes you about a year. Rob Gronkowski wasn't Rob Gronkowski year one, even really year two. They were kind of looking at Aaron Hernandez. And then Rob took the mantle. Yeah. Travis Kelce in Kansas City took him about a year and a half. George Kittle definitely took him about like a year and a half, 2 years. You know what I mean? To become George Kittle. So like Isaiah Likely, give him one more year. If it ain't good, then you can chuck him away with Mark Andrews, I guess, if you want to.
Danny is not feeling the top tier talk for Isaiah Likely. I'll say this. He definitely has some games where you look at him like, man, like he made some plays there, Like he flashed it. He flashed it a few times and make you feel like, okay, there could be something there. But you can't just say he's a top tier tight end all of a sudden. Like he's got to do it consistently. So that's what we're looking for. All right. Speaking of Mark Andrews, not throwing Mark Andrews away yet, right? We need him to be healthy. He's a very good tight end today. He did, and fortunate for him, he was wearing a seatbelt and he is A-OK. So he's not going to really miss any time at practice. Speaking of not missing any time and people being okay, we had a scare with Kyle Hamilton. Was it yesterday? Right, he hurt himself and he walked back to they walked him back to the locker room, but he's back out of practice today. so he didn't miss any time. Andrew Wiggins, Nate Wiggins. I'm sorry, Nate Wiggins.
Y'all got Andrew Wiggins? That's crazy. No. Sorry.
No. Nate Wiggins hurt himself in the Eagles game. Okay, got a little shoulder stinger is what it looked like, but he's back at practice as well, so he's okay. So, and like B said, we got some guys coming back. At least Isaac, TJ, Tampa. I feel good that guys are starting to come back, but also, man, this is this training staff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they're snake bitten or what, but man, guys just stay hurt, sick. Man, I don't know what it is, man. Joe DeSandris, he got some illness. They said it was stemming from some surgery that he had to get early on, but he's out. It's just always something with this team.
Yeah, and right just before we move on to the Panthers, we do want to wish Joe a speedy recovery.
Yes.
They said he's going to be out for an extended amount of time. He's in the hospital now. Hopefully he's all right. They're going to be replacing him with George Warhop, who has 27 years of NFL coaching experience, 40 years overall. So I'm sure those guys will be in good hands. And like I said, we wish Joe the absolute best and a speedy recovery there.
I feel. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, like, I'm with you, Jose. Like, the Giants, literally been injuries left and right, and it's been like escaping massive injuries, right? Because Brian Burns got injured like literally week 1 of training camp, and the entire fan base was like, no, and then you realize like, oh no, someone just kicked his ankle. You know what I mean? So like it was like that, and then yesterday, Tyrone Tracy Jr. was returning kicks. And he got rolled up on it, and it looked like he snapped his leg in half.
Ooh.
It looked like he snapped his leg. Everyone's like, oh, my God. Again, low ankle sprain. And you're like, what? You know what I mean? So, like, it's been like, Drew Lock got injured, but, yeah, it's been a lot of injuries. The offense, John Michael Schmitz, shoulder injured. Evan Neal, still on the PUP list. You know what I mean? Man, goddamn injuries, man.
Salute, Dre. Thanks for coming through.
Shout out to Dre.
Y'all check out Mr. Galloway's channel. We talked about you yesterday or on Monday on the Ravens Roundup. We were talking about our was it the top 50 or top 20 list?
Yeah, the duos and groups and how DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince were criminally underrated on your list.
And Kid and Play.
Just like Kid and Play, just like Tupac on the individual artist list. But that's all right. That's okay.
My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it.
You were in it, Ferris.
Was that which one?
You were trying for Kid and Play.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. Hey, man, what you want from me, man? I'm only 24. I didn't know.
You ain't know about them movies?
I knew about the movies. I thought they were just movie people. I didn't, I didn't know, like,
You thought they just grabbed 2 random people and said, you know what, we're gonna make a bunch of movies about you. No, it doesn't. Nobody says we're gonna make a bunch of movies about you and turn you into rappers.
Listen to Ferris. Any other time he talks like he was there with just Aloe when it happened. Okay, but now it's guys. I'm only 24. I'm only 24.
Remember when John Baxter Taylor won the gold medal in 1908? But now he's top of the whatever.
Hey man, I didn't even know there was 4 movies. Did you 4 movies? They made 4 of them things, man.
No, they only did 3.
They did 3 house parties, and then they had Class Act, and
they did 2 house parties. The third one, I think it was with their nephew. They were in it, I think.
Yeah, well then that counts as 3.
Okay, that's 3. Okay.
And then they
did actually a reboot of House Party with LeBron James.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so
I don't know. I'm just pointing it out. I just pointed it out.
On to the Carolina Panthers. Not a whole lot to say here for the Panthers. They didn't play anybody in their game against New England. They had over 30 people just sitting out. They weren't planning on playing Bryce Young at all. They didn't play any starters on the O-line. What do you...
Just Alan's comment.
You got to control yourself, bro.
He said, I remember 24, they still had East and West Germany.
My apologies, comrade.
That's Russia, but okay.
Exactly.
Germany.
I know, but they were controlled by Russia, that one side.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
My bad. I forgot you were
yes.
there.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was there.
Yes. So 30 people sat out that first game.
More than, yeah, and so they didn't have they weren't really evaluating much of anything. I mean, yeah, you have the bottom half of the roster out there. You have the brand new coaching staff trying to get their feet wet. But in terms of what the Carolina Panthers are going to look like come week 1 and beyond, there wasn't anything there. They are just starting, I believe, tomorrow, their joint practices with the Jets. So that's going to be that's going to be a sign of things to come. You know, a test for that O line, because the Jets have a great defensive line. You know, we'll see how they look there. But again, just from this past game against the Patriots, you know, the only thing I really took away from it was that there wasn't the level of competition that you would hope for, even with the you know, guys down the depth chart, right? Because I know the Patriots played some of their starters, but they didn't play all night. And when it got down to, you know, the third and fourth and you know, string and the guys who were going to be out on the street against Carolina, they didn't really look any better. So it was unfortunate. But again, first game with, you know, a lot of moving pieces in Carolina, a brand new coaching staff. So I'm not taking much of anything out of that game. And we'll see how they look over the next week or so with the joint practices with the Jets and in their following game.
Yeah. How you feel about those guys not playing
in the first game? I don't. It doesn't bother me. I mean, listen, I almost had a heart attack because when I turned it on, this guy Jack Plummer, who, I don't know, Andy Dalton was hurt, so he didn't play either. But he had been sacked 5 times. So I immediately had to go online and check to see if any of the starting O linemen were part of that debacle. Thankfully, they were not. But yeah, it's just, you know, they have to get the O line out there, get them playing together. For Bryce, I want to see Bryce get out there and get some reps, but it's not the end of the world. You know, I mean, this isn't a team that's coming out of the gates saying, hey, we're going to the Super Bowl this year, right? So if they feel like, hey, we can kind of take our time with this, then, you know, that's fine. But, you know, obviously Bryce needs some reps. That O-line needs to get out there and play together and gel together. The O-line needs to get on the same page with Bryce. I think the defense will be solid enough. And when I say solid enough, I mean middle of the pack this year, thanks to Evero. And it's really just going to be down to that offense. You know, Jonathan Brooks is out probably through the first, probably going to be through the first 6 games, if we're being honest. They're saying, you know, maybe week 4, but I figure they'll probably just throw him on PUP just to be safe. So, you know, we're going to be a month plus into the season before we see the real Carolina in all their glory and what they can really do.
So, this isn't Carolina news, but it's related to Carolina, right? It's AFC South or NFC South news. I'm not sure if you saw it. It was.
I did. That's why I was hinting at before.
Okay.
Matt Judon traded to the Atlanta Falcons for a 3rd round pick, and then, you know, obviously we have the Brandon Aiyuk soap opera, telenovela. I don't know what we want to label that.
Okay, Brandon Aiyuk. I you were on Suge's channel yesterday. Not sure if you guys discussed it. There are parameters in place for the trade, right? Meaning, San Francisco agreed to the terms, Pittsburgh agreed to the terms, but Aiyuk has not agreed to terms yet, right? That's what that means. Because if Aiyuk said, "All right, cool, get it done, I'll sign the contract," it'd be done, right? Or at least they say, "Hey, it's happening soon."
Yes, Frankie. Matt Judon was traded a little while ago to the Atlanta Falcons again for a 3rd round pick, so he's heading to the NFC South. But, you know, the report was also out there that the 49ers have agreed for the most part to a contract extension with Brandon Aiyuk, and that there was just one hurdle left. I don't buy that report. I mean, like, I think that they're trying to put pressure on Pittsburgh to offer more. But if it's true, I don't know how you agree to a trade and a contract extension at the same time. It makes no sense to me. But I think Brandon needs to decide what he wants and get this over with. The
I
season's
think
about to start, bro.
I think he wants to go to Washington.
Oh, I'm sure he does, but that's not on the table at this point. So you need to decide: do you want to play for Pittsburgh or do you want to stay in San Francisco?
Yeah, because
I
if
think-
you've already agreed to a contract with the Niners, just stay.
But he hasn't.
Well,
They said they've agreed on most points, but there was still a hurdle left. So they hadn't fully agreed. So he hasn't signed an extension. And the
Yeah.
49ers have agreed, essentially to terms with Pittsburgh. But like you said, they haven't, I guess, worked out a deal with Brandon Aiyuk.
They don't want a Hassan Reddick situation that literally just happened a couple days ago.
Right.
The Jets traded for Hassan.
Nobody wants that, but only the Jets would allow that to happen to themselves. Well, them and the Texans.
Right. Look, I salute him for using his leverage. Right, he has 1 year left on his deal, and he's made it. He made a situation where, yes, the team stays on. He made it uncomfortable for them. They want to trade him. They want trade him wherever they feel they get the best value for him. And he said, "No, you're going to trade me where I want to go, right? Otherwise, I'm not going to sign an extension." That's a good card to play.
Always.
But at some point, you gotta you gotta take the win. Okay, if you're trying to get to Washington and it's just not happening, and you put Pittsburgh on your list, then all right, they said they'll send you to Pittsburgh. Agree to the terms. Now, granted that Pittsburgh is offering you what you want, they're not like lowballing you, right? And if that's the case, and you got to hold out, then you just say, "Hey, you know what, guys, I'm gonna play up my last year on my deal, and I'll just hit free agency."
He's
Or you can tag me.
dangerously close to becoming Dwight Howard right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look, Dwight Howard agreed to go,
And then he changed
Right.
his mind.
and then
He didn't sign anything.
No,
So like I have to believe at some point Brandon said, "Yes, I want to go."
Dwight Howard really hurt the Nets.
Yeah.
He really hurt the Nets with
Hurt
that.
himself.
They made a lot of moves based off of his word, and then he pulled out.
But he hurt himself more. The Nets, they recovered from that. Dwight Howard never did.
No,
Dwight Howard was never looked at the same way by NBA fans after that.
yeah.
And then the 1 year with the Lakers kind of ruined everything for him because
Pretty sure he won a title, so whatever.
no the first
The
stint,
first time around.
first
He
time
was
around.
he was still a starter.
The one
Yeah.
the 1 year for the Lakers was the year he won the title. So
okay.
sure.
People forget that year he hurt his back, and
did.
no one ever talks about that. He
Yeah.
played with a back injury, and that's what I always think about. What Kobe kept yelling at him, how like you're soft, knowing that he has a back injury. How about you yell at 42-year-old Steve Nash? Why is he on your team?
That was his friend. Kobe was a dick. It is what it is. Like, people love him, but he was a dick.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jay says we can't get Gilly off the couch, but the Falcons can get Judon. Some bull jive. Look,
Who's Gilly?
Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, okay, got it. I've never heard.
Your focus needs to be on the offense, man. Right? The defense is going to be solid.
They put the work in on the offense though. When they got Deontay Johnson, they drafted Xavier Legette. They brought back Adam Thielen. They worked on the O line. They got a new running back. They don't have any other corners besides J.C. Horn. Their number 2 guy or their next guy up was Dane Jackson, and he went out, I believe, on a stretcher today. I'm not sure how bad it turned out to be. But if he's out for an extended amount of time, then they just don't have anything.
Yeah, look, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I got nothing for you. All right, yep. Yeah, Jay said Dane Jackson was carted off.
Yeah,
I don't know.
carted off, not a stretcher.
Yeah. So, all right, well, yeah, those are two big. Well, one big trade. The other, we'll see. And Aiyuk, man, that's somebody that I said the Ravens, should have been in on. But if we weren't on his list, maybe he didn't want to come here. I don't know. You still try, right? I don't want him going to Pittsburgh. I'll tell you that. All right. Hopefully he bluffs them and we'll be good there. But that would be bad news for the Ravens if he ends up there.
Yeah.
What's up, Zeke Okage? Thanks for coming through. All right, what we got next, B? Is it time for a court of public opinion?
I was gonna go to some basketball.
Wait.
Talk a little WNBA. and Dearica Hamby.
So that was going to be. So I had two things for core public opinion. One was Dearica Hamby.
Okay, well, you didn't communicate that to me, so I only set up one thing for core public opinion.
I did communicate it to you. I didn't send you the list.
No.
Oh, my bad. So yes, in the list that I typed up in looks beautiful, and it's in the description. But
okay,
yes.
Well, we will go ahead and no big deal, no big deal. We'll go ahead and just shift to core public opinion then. Okay,
let's do it. Let's do it.
It's not professional like that. I can do it. Whatever. And here we are.
Yes.
We're going to start off, though, with another topic in Court of Public Opinion, because that's the one that I was prepared for. What are you doing, Ferris?
No, I hit the
Please
mic.
keep your hands to yourself. Just put them down on the palms on the desk, and just relax, bro. First up, we got the people versus Noah Lyles. If you don't know, Noah Lyles is a pretty fast guy. He's a Olympic sprinter. He won the gold medal in the men's 100 meters, sort of. The other guy's foot was across the line, but he also came in and got that bronze in the 200 meters. I would tell you about his world championships, but obviously no one cares about world championships. It's all about the Olympics.
Hey.
No one cares about the world championships, Ferris.
You want a gold medal in Budapest, gal. Don't forget that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which Olympics was that?
I said the world championships in Budapest last year.
Ferris. That's why you had to tell everybody just now. Everybody knows what I told them. Everybody knows he won the gold medal in Paris because they care about the Olympics. Nobody cares about the world championships. Anyway, Noah Lyles, that's not even what we're talking about. Him being, him failing at what he was. I don't know.
Because it's FTMF Noah. Okay, if you don't know what FTMF means, filmed in more film.
Just tell him
or something else.
Just tell him to get ready for LA 28.
Or don't get COVID.
Well, I mean,
allegedly.
Okay. Let me lay out the whole thing here, and then we can break it down.
I mentioned a minute ago when I thought we were transitioning to basketball that Kobe Bryant is a dick, or was a dick. Et tu, Noah Lyles. Not great. He likes to talk trash, which we don't have a problem with trash talkers here. I think it makes it interesting, and you get that you can spark up those rivalries. People get intense. It's fine. I don't like whining. People who kind of. I don't like whining. I don't like people who trash talk their own teammates. Essentially, the other American athletes, and I don't like people who don't back it up. And then they don't just if he had just lost that 200 meters. And went over and congratulated dude, and that was it. And said, hey, better man won today. Fine, cool. But my man fell to the floor and crawled around, begged for water, asked for the Paul Pierce treatment, got the wheelchair, and then hit the clubs later that night.
Right. Don C, what's going on? Thanks for coming through, man.
Then told us.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So we watched a lot of Olympics, right? He talked a lot of trash.
Yes.
Which we're okay with some trash talking. First of all, the trash talking's got to be entertaining. He's not really entertaining. He's just kind of annoying.
He's horrible.
Right? But fine, whatever. You won by a hair in the 100 meter, and he bragged about that. Say he's the fastest man in the world. You're not the fastest man in the world. You're a fast man in the world. You're not the fastest man in the world. Okay, that's one. But okay.
And before you move on, because I don't want people to think that we're hating when we say that. We talked about this.
Yes,
he is one of the fastest men in the world, right? But if they run that race again next week, he could lose to Kishane. He could lose to. I mean, he could. I guess he could. He could
lose to five other people. It was a photo finish. Right? He
could lose to several of them, or he could win. Okay,
or he could win. Yeah.
When Usain Bolt ran that race, he won every single time. Usain Bolt was the fastest man in the world. Noah Lyles is a very, very, very fast man.
Yes.
Usain Bolt was so fast. He looked at the camera at the finish line, smiled at it, while Andre DeGrassi was fighting for his life for second. Everyone knows the photo I'm talking about. Everyone knows it. Like Jose, how demoralizing. You're Andre DeGrassi. You're the top North American sprinter in the world. You know what I mean? And you're going in, you're gonna dethrone the man, and you're fighting to survive. And the guy in front of you is like,
You're trying to run out of your skin, and the other dude is just chilling.
And he slows down to do that.
he slows down. He purposely didn't break his world record because he's like, bro, I don't need to, man. These dudes bums. And they was failing drug tests to beat me. They failed, like the people who lost him failed drug tests, and they still couldn't win. Big fan of the track. Justin Gatlin, Tyson Gay, top American sprinters. Both failed drug tests and couldn't beat Usain Bolt.
Yeah. So, all right, we said all that to say, okay, he won. Noah Lyles, back to Noah Lyles. He won his gold. People are like, all right, congratulations, you won your gold. That was a dramatic win.
Incredible race.
Yes, people gave him credit for that, right? He comes back and tries to win the 200.
His race.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, he talked a lot of trash leading into that race. Okay, fine. You go out there, you get smoked. You still get bronze.
Well, before that, when he was introduced, he came out and showing off his 56-inch vertical and screaming and running around like he didn't have COVID.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah, and I joked before that, right? Because when they go out there and they're walking out, they're introducing all the runners and everything. He ran out there and he just right, getting the crowd hyped up. I said, man, you might want to save that energy for this race, bro, right? And turns out he needed to save that energy. He got smoked. Yeah. He comes in third. You still got bronze. You finish with you get a gold in 100 and a bronze in 200.
And then you're going to pick the gold in the relay. I mean, never mind.
Yeah. No, yeah. Let's not talk. Please, let's not talk about the relay. Let's not talk about the relay, please.
Oh, hold on. Let's.
Oh
okay.
my God.
All right. But he had a pretty good turnout for his individual events. Yes. He had pretty good turnout.
Yeah.
Like I told B, that was a win if he just kept his mouth shut and just said, "Hey, you know what? I tried to win double, didn't happen, but I'm happy that I got the medal in one and got a gold in another." Right? He would have came out golden. He would have came out. Everybody would have been talking about the photo finish race, right? But he does the whole crawling on the ground. Oh, I need water, please, right? Just a sip, sir, just a sip, right? He sits down and he's just like, hey, where's the camera? Camera's over there. Hey, can you bring out the wheelchair? Yeah, wheelchair. Yeah, okay. Do you got a little oxygen mask? I can use that too, please. He's doing that whole thing. He's dying.
Yes.
And then he comes back about 10 minutes later to do an interview with a mask on saying, I got COVID. That's why I lost. So why are you out there hugging everybody? Mm-hmm. Why are you out there, you know what I'm saying? You're hugging, high-fiving everybody beforehand, and then you come back out with the mask. You were just dying a second ago. You couldn't breathe. But now, I got COVID. I was diagnosed with COVID. And then like 2 days later, he tweets out, I'm COVID-free now.
Right.
Really? Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shortest run of COVID I've ever seen.
He wanted to go to that after party, man. He wanted to go to that track after party.
Yeah, I had no respect for that. If it's legit, then keep it to yourself. That's how that works.
If it's legit, you don't run in that race.
Don't run.
No, you don't.
Yeah, but if you run,
you posted the negative test. You posted the negative test, but you didn't. You know what I mean? Like come on.
But if you run,
you don't run because obviously you're not going to be at your best, but you also don't run because you don't want to be exposing other people to you while you're sick in one of the most selfish moves possible.
Yeah, but you ran, and there's no excuses.
No,
when you're competing, there are no excuses, right? But okay. This is only half of the why he's on trial. This is the first charge. Okay.
I just want to point out as well. If Jose, you're right. If he just get winning the double is really hard. So if he didn't win the double, no one would be disappointed in him. You know what I mean? It's really hard to do. Only Usain Bolt is the last one who did it, and he did it at 3 straight Olympics. I mean, so no one's really done it besides Usain Bolt.
Seems pretty easy.
Oh, it's Usain Bolt, man. Let's not act like it's easy. Yeah. So it's because he got bronze in Tokyo. It's hard. If he just shut it the hell up, everyone would be all right. It's a hard event to do. Keep it moving. But continue, Jose. Why do people really hate him?
Okay, that's the first charge. Okay. The second charge is his hate towards Anthony Edwards. Have you heard about this, Ferris?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I
Okay.
did.
All right. I'm gonna read this because I bookmarked this tweet. It says Noah Lyles was offended when Adidas invited him to an Anthony Edwards event last year. You want to do what? This is a quote from him. You want to do what? You want to invite me to an event for a man who has not even been to an NBA Finals in a sport that you don't even care about, and you're giving him a shoe? So yes, he was jealous that Anthony Edwards is one of the athletes that they're having an event for a release for one of his shoes, I guess, and Noah Lyles, who also got a deal from Adidas, which is smaller than Anthony Edwards, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, hey, well, I'm a champion. I'm a world champion. I'm a world champion. I deserve more than he has. He hasn't even been to a finals. Why would you even let anybody quote you saying this? Right? Like, he's already made comments about the NBA and how, being a champion in the NBA doesn't make you a world champion, blah, blah, blah.
Ridiculous comments.
I just want to remind people, and I want to remind Noah Lyles, because I know you're watching Noah. Okay. You're a fan of the show. Anthony Edwards is a world champion. Okay. He has just as many gold medals as you do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You have one gold medal. You're a one-time world champion. Those other races that you did that are world champions, those aren't Olympic medals. Nobody cares about those. You're a one-time world champion, just like Anthony Edwards.
And you finished third in your race twice.
Yeah.
Just like Anthony Edwards did in the NBA.
And also, the reality is, you said nobody cares, a sport that nobody cares about. Nah, brother. No.
He said Adidas doesn't care about.
Which is also wrong.
Also wrong.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm just saying what he said. You know what I mean? So
we only care.
Misquoting him.
We only care about track every 4 years. That's the reality. Okay. We will act like we're very passionate. We'll do our research for those 3 days to make it seem like we're well versed in track and all that stuff, but we don't care. All right.
Yeah, I spent a good 2-3 days thinking Ingebrigtsen was the devil. I don't care about him now, but in the moment, that was incredible.
Anthony Edwards
smoked him.
Anthony Edwards plays a sport that everybody watches. Okay. Like, he plays. I told B. Anthony Edwards plays a sport. Okay. Noah Lyles competes in a sport. He doesn't play a sport. Right. You don't play against anybody. You compete. You run. That's it, and it happens quick. And there's nothing else to talk about afterwards. Okay. NBA is way more popular, which is why all these shoe companies invest in athletes. Okay. Noah, if you want more popularity, go play a sport.
He can't.
Someone told him to go run a plant.
That's okay.
Learn how to catch a football and run.
There's nothing wrong with being a track athlete. What the Olympics?
No, he's doing fine.
It's incredible going out there and proving you're the best in the world at something. Just shut up while you do it, Noah. Not everybody else, just you, Noah.
Dan, he said, high key, Jason Tatum on trial 2. He was hating from inside the club. How was he hating? I don't know. I didn't even see him.
Don't nobody care about Jason Tatum, though.
Well, exactly. Nobody saw him. That's the point. That's why he was hating. He was very upset. And you know what? Like, honestly, bro, like with Jason Tatum, like, bro, like, you didn't fit in most of the games because they used you against South Sudan because they had to combat their length, which worked in your favor because you're also, you're a bigger defender to combat their length. But you didn't fit a role. The reason Devin Booker played over you, because Devin Booker literally tweeted this out like years ago where someone said, can we have NBA players that can play a role in the Olympics and just do the role and not complain? Devin Booker was like, I could do that. And guess what? That's why Devin Booker was the first guard off of the team sheet, because he played great defense. He was a better shooter than him. Jason Tatum's shot is off, done. He wasn't shooting well in the NBA season. Devin Booker shot well this season, in the NBA season and in the Olympics, and he fit the role next to Steph Curry, because Steph, he ain't gonna play no defense. You know what I mean? So Devin Booker got to play defense on the guards that need to be that need to be got. And that's what Devin Booker didn't complain, didn't talk about no minutes. He was playing 10 minutes, 14 minutes, 8 minutes. He didn't care. But the reason he played constantly is that he knew his role. He shot the ball, he played defense, and he shut it up. When you're a grown man and your mama I complain about your minutes, that's a problem.
Okay, all right. Let's do this vote on Noah Lyles. Okay.
Yeah, hashtag guilty or hashtag not guilty. Essentially, I mean, I don't want to, kind of really be reductive here, but is Noah Lyles a dick and should he shut up? Is what we're asking.
Well, I don't think
we also didn't even mention him downplaying the Canadian team, the Canadian relay team, who ended up winning the gold medal.
Yes.
In the 4x4 and the 4x100.
100, yes.
Okay, while people are casting their vote, let's talk about the embarrassment from the USA.
Can we please not talk about that?
They asked Noah Lyles about the budding rivalry between the U.S. and Canada, and he's like, "Who?" And then like the Canadians relay team, he's like, "Who?" Essentially just saying they're nobody. And then they obviously went out and won gold while
he had COVID.
While Kung Fu Kenny was putting on the brakes at the end of the I forget what they call it, but the zone where you can transfer the baton.
Yeah, the baton.
Yeah. And getting run into and knocked out of the zone and disqualified, losing the 4x100 men's relay for I believe it was the 4th straight Olympics.
Bro, you want to know how foul this curse has been? Let me tell you something. 24 years. We haven't won this event in 24 years. Our last medal was in 2004. And that was like, I think, silver or some shit. You want to talk about how bad this is? NBC, after the baton mess up, you know how truthfully they did us? They showed replays of the last 4 baton disqualifications.
Yeah. they did it before the race. And then they went out and they got disqualified again.
Jose, before it even started, like they were talking about the baton with the Americans. They only talked about the Americans before the race. They didn't care about anyone. It was like the baton. They kept talking about the baton. Otto Bolden was like the baton. And I just sat there like, oh my God, they're going to mess up the baton. They're going to mess it up. I know it. We keep talking about it. And guess what happened?
This is why you don't see them compete in anything else other than track. They can't play team sports, obviously. Right? They can't hand off a football or receive their handoff. They'll fumble it every time. Okay.
Jose.
What?
You want a juxtaposition? Let me tell you something, right?
Yeah.
So the women 4x100 relay, right? It was raining. It was raining during their race. And the women didn't mess up the baton. The men were running in the sun.
They had a little trouble, but Sha'Carri Richardson, she. Whew,
yeah. Honestly, if Sha'Carri, I think that was Gabby and Sha'Carri, if that exchange was good, they break the world record. They break it. Yeah. End of discussion.
The men are an embarrassment.
They're an embarrassment.
This is a unanimous. There's no toying on this one. Okay, no one wants to take Noah Lyles' side here. Okay, he's guilty. Let's do a quick Dearica and Hamby one.
Hey man, you're speaking of one thing. Let's leave on no hands. On a positive note, on the track and field, man, the 4x400 women's, sweet baby Jesus.
We're gonna say that because we're saying that for overtime show. Okay, we're gonna talk more Olympics in the overtime show. If you want to be part of the overtime show, go to patreon.com/LBHTShow for as little as $5 a month. You can partake in the overtime show. You can be a part of our Discord. Yes. Yeah. All that stuff. All right. So considering signing up, we have a few tiers, $5, $10, $20, even a $60 tier if you're a content creator. All right. So patreon.com/LBHTShow. As soon as this show is done, we'll be right over on Patreon for the overtime show. So check it out.
Hey guys, also, remember my name. I'm covering the Olympics in LA in 4 years. Remember this face.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Damn right.
Also, if you're new here, all right, we got some goals. Okay, hit that subscribe button. We're close to 2,000 subscribers. Football's picking back up, so the subs need to pick up as well. All right, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and of course, hit that like button if you're enjoying the content. Okay, Dearica Hamby versus the W, Ray versus the Aces.
Right? The W was also named in the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's happened with
Yeah.
more than one team.
Yeah,
By
because
the way,
Phoenix was worse.
I love that. I love that they call it WNBA the W. That's a pretty dope. That's a pretty dope.
Yeah.
I love when they reference it as a W.
Yeah.
But yes. All right.
Because if you say the NBA is like, hey guys, the N.
No.
See?
Okay.
Don't like that.
Ferris,
Exactly.
do you know the details of this? Do you want to break down the lawsuit?
Yeah. So Dearica Hamby, I believe last year, she was pregnant during the Las Vegas Aces championship run. She's alleging gender discrimination due to her pregnancy and how they pressured her. I don't know. They promised her things. Things were promised. Money was supposed to be allocated to her daughter's private school and child care and, general, they kind of ostracized her out of the team, denied her certain entries to certain parts of the organization. You know what I mean? And she did not, right here. So team housing, that was supposed to help the family with childcare during games and kind of that. I'm still sifting through the 18 pages. It's 18 pages long.
So, okay, I got a few quotes here because we actually did a video on this last year when she brought this up. I don't think she was filing a lawsuit then, but she had talked about it, and we did a video.
So here it is. So she filed it, and then a couple of weeks ago, she was given the green light, the ready to sue. Like you can now sue them. You filed it, and now that's why now it's in lawsuit form. She filled out all the paperwork, put all the motions in. They reviewed it, and they're like, okay, you're ready to sue them. And then she hit the green button on suing. You know what I mean? So now, yeah.
So this account Kicks at Kicks on Twitter says during a phone call between Coach Hammond and Dearica Hamby on January 15, 2023, Hammond asked her whether she planned her pregnancy. When Hamby responded that she did not, Hammond told Hamby that she was not taking proper precautions not to get pregnant. And I remember we talked about how, Hammond, we talked about like just women getting pregnant in sports and whatnot, how they're treated. And this story does not look good. It says during the same call, Hammond questioned Hamby's commitment and dedication to the team, telling her that she was a question mark. Hammond further stated that Aces needed bodies and that Hamby wouldn't be ready to play in time for the start of the next season. And I remember this, like she was, and she assured them that she would be ready to go. But she was labeled as untrustworthy and not reliable and things like that. They bullied her.
Yeah, they withheld promised tuition relief to her daughter's school and allegedly forcibly removed her from team provided housing. And then she asked them, "Did you trade me because I was pregnant?" And Becky Hammond never denied that accusation.
Right. I also want to add this because Dearica Hamby isn't just some player. Like she's dope. Right. It said the Aces proceeded to trade Dearica Hamby to the Los Angeles Sparks. This season, she's averaging 19.4 points and 10 rebounds. Yeah.
Yeah. Because she starts on the Sparks. Unlike when Vegas, she came off the bench. She was the I think the sixth woman of the year when she was with her. And she brought a lot of rotation.
The Aces are stacked.
Yeah. So she's a great player. They call her big guard, right? Because she's a big who can handle the ball and come down the lane. She can start the break. She can ignite it, and she kind of changed the way the Aces played when she was in because she can grab a board and go forward. She doesn't have to pass it to Kelsey Plum. You know what I mean? Right. She can take it and go. Now Alicia Clark kind of took the 6-man role from her. But yeah.
Yeah. Then he says she alleges they broke promises because she became pregnant and eligible to play the rest of the season. They absolutely did it. Mm-hmm. That's absolutely what happened.
So the WNBA Players Association requested an investigation in January 2023 following the trade. They opened up the inquiry. Then in May, they announced the investigation was over. They found out that the Aces violated for impersonal player benefits because, the promise of tuition. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So they took away their first round pick for 2025 and then they suspended Becky Hammond for 2 games without pay. That was the punishment. That was the punishment by the WNBA. But this is like you got to shove out some money because this is workplace discrimination to the T. You know, based on sex, really. You know what I mean? You know, because she's a woman and got pregnant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thoughts, B?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I believe they did it, and like Bear said, you know, this is not a something that's limited to the Aces. This is going on with Phoenix as well, with Skylar Diggins Smith. Is it
That's
Smith?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Phoenix, she was pregnant. They traded her. She was traded to Phoenix. I think she played a couple years in Phoenix. In the year she was pregnant, they basically, like the big gist of it was, they basically told her you can't use any of the facilities. You're banished, basically. They literally denied her credentials. You know, they kind of just like shoved her away. You know what I mean? And their coach was being all snippy and all nasty about it. You know, it's like, because it's like she got pregnant, yo. You know how many mothers are in the WNBA for like since Cheryl Stroups got pregnant, came back and won 4 straight NBA championships.
Yeah, and look, the whole thing is you are not. It's a terrible look. Period. One, you know, obviously it's illegal, but then it's a terrible look the way you treat your players, and you as a league. And we've talked about how much they've been growing over the last several years, how entertaining it is. You know how they have so many great players coming into the league, but you are as a league are not in a place where you can alienate top talent like this because coaches in the chat asking if we knew that Gabby Williams from the French team used to play for Chicago, and now she plays overseas, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is they were talking to Diamond DeShields. The other day, I believe yesterday, asking her, you know, about women who decide to go and play over in Europe, and he's like, "Yeah, it's the wages. You know, they don't pay us enough." And you know, and she was saying that she didn't have anything against anybody who would go overseas to make that money. And hopefully, once the wages change in the WNBA, you know, maybe some of those players can come back and all that. So again, you're not in a place where you can kind of try to clamp down on your workforce like this. They have other options. And better options, if we're being honest, right now.
Man.
You need to be all about these players, these women who are fantastic ambassadors for the game, who put their heart and soul into building up the W, and you kind of turn around and you're kind of cutting them off at their knees.
Because Brianna, so Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi played on the same team in Russia with Candace Parker back in the day. They were all being paid $1 million a year. $1 million a year. Deanna, there's an entire podcast about this team because it was owned by like some like Russian spy who was like in some espionage that got murdered. It's actually a great podcast. You should listen to it. They're being paid $1 million a year by this like Russian spy for this team, and the highest paid player in the WNBA now, not back then, now makes $250,000. That's why Gabby Williams is playing overseas. Because she would prioritize the WNBA, absolutely. If they paid her more than the French team or the Turkish team that she plays for, absolutely. And that's why Gabby Williams hasn't played in the NBA for like I think about a year and a half due to the prioritization. That's a big word.
Prioritization.
Yes, rules. Because if you don't show up by training camp, or I think the last day is May 1st. If you don't show up by May 1st, that's the last deadline. You end up getting suspended for the entire year. And that's what Chicago did to Gabby Williams. Suspended her for the entire. That's why she'll never ever play for the Chicago Sky. Ever. And she's public with her disdain about it because Angel Reese asked her, like, hey, come back to Chicago and play with me. And she was like, girl, I love you. I'll play with you. Not on that team. Publicly saying, I will never play for that team because of what they did to me. But that wouldn't have happened if you paid her similar wages. Now, not even more, similar. Because a lot of these...
Or if you just didn't screw her for making money elsewhere.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Like, let her show up a week late. Gives a damn. You week late. I get Gabby Williams on my team and you're a week late. I don't care. Gabby Williams is one of the best basketball players on planet Earth. The problem is no one talks about her because she plays in Europe and no one watches. There's no broadcasting deal for them. You know what I mean? We don't, I'm, like Brianna Stewart played for Fenerbahce in Turkey, and it was packed. Everyone's showing up to it. They treat it like a soccer game, flares and having fun and just watching sports. They don't care if women are doing it. A sport is a sport. We're watching sports. Let's go watch some sports.
Yeah.
All
right. So, I mean, do we want to put up a poll for this? I think this is pretty open and shut.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I put the poll together already, so we're gonna put it.
Okay. Let's do it.
So, I mean, it's essentially who are you siding with here? Hashtag Hamby or hashtag W.
Okay. All right.
Season comes back in 2 days, by the way.
I think it's tomorrow they start.
No, tomorrow. 2 days was yesterday. My bad. One day.
Put in the hashtag Hamby or hashtag W. All right. Who you siding with there? WNBA is obviously it's more popular than it's ever been. It's going to get even more popular, and when it happens, stories like this, these are going to pop up. That's any sport, right? But it just shows you the ugly side of things. Even something like this, which it's been all positive news up until this point, but this definitely puts a damper on things. And and we raised this question a year ago. We talked, I might put that link to that video, but we talked about how women are treated, how pregnancies are treated in women's sports and how they're viewed, right? Like, some people look at it and say, yeah, she did kind of let her team down because she got pregnant, but it's not like every year comes around and she's like, hey guys, I'm pregnant again, can't play, right? It's not one of those things, right? I don't think she didn't miss any real time at all.
It was at the end of the season. She missed playoff games.
Yeah. Okay. And I can understand.
Yeah.
You're like, man, like we could have used you there. I get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, it wasn't planned. Okay. It's not like she was doing it every year, right? Around that time. Okay. She was ready to go the next season.
And listen, the people who complain about that, you have PTO at your job and you use it whenever you want. And don't tell me it's different because they're not making the money the men are making. So it's not different at all.
Not for them.
Yeah, they're making like our wages. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Some of them are making our wages. So it's not like, like I said, $250,000 million. That's the max. Some doctors get that. You know what I mean? Not all.
No, that's an excellent point, though, B. That's an excellent point. They don't make enough for you to have the type of expectations for them.
No.
Right?
No. They don't make enough for you to talk about them the way you talk about male athletes and expecting them to just put their entire lives on hold while they're playing for your favorite team. I mean, it's ridiculous in male sports as well, but you don't even have the argument of, oh, well, they're making millions of dollars to play a game, because they're not.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and also, too, like, men can't get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
I saw a movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger did, so I'm not sure if you're really
I didn't know that.
on point with that.
Okay, my bad.
I think Stallone did in one as well.
I didn't know. Also, too, like, my thing is this, like, how mad you get with Kawhi Leonard and all the people with load management, and you're like, man, what the hell up with this? You know what I mean? She literally said, like, yeah, I got pregnant. I'll be ready for next year. I'm playing next year. I'm playing, you know what I mean? Kawhi Leonard be like, nah, I'll play 40 games next year. And I'll show up for the playoffs if we make it far enough. I still probably won't show up.
Kawhi said, I'll see you when I see you.
Oh, yeah, basically, I'll see you when I see you.
It's just it's a matter of tactfulness, too. Because, yes, people are going to think that, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are going to think that, right or wrong. Coaches, because, Hammond is one of those coaches that, she's heartless. Let's just be real about it. She's heartless. You're going to get people like that. But it's still a matter of how you approach it. You might be thinking, oh, man, like, she did this when we needed her, man. Can I trust her? Can't treat her that way, right? You got to kind of bite your tongue. And if you feel like this is a continuing problem, then you quietly just make the trade. Why do you have to go through all that? Telling teammates not to talk to her and all that stuff. This is first of all, you don't control anybody. It's a job, right? But why do you feel like you have to embarrass her, put her down instead of just trading her? Because that's really what it comes down to. Hey, I don't think I can trust her. I'm gonna trade her. And that's all you have to do and keep it moving. And then you don't have any of this stuff, right? But doing that extra stuff, it's that sense of I want to be in control, right? And you're going to do what I tell you to do, and so is the team. Nah, can't have that. Can't have that. And Becky Hammond, who I think she's an excellent coach, no place for her in the W. All right.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and move on here. Ferris, the Premier League is back this weekend. I want to go ahead and have you give us a full-on breakdown of that if you're willing.
Got you.
No,
what are we doing?
Ferris, I mean, okay. I don't know why you do that. All right. Come on, bro. We're gonna go ahead and go to submitted questions and then get up out of here. I don't know why you would believe that.
I know. You and Brodny you and Hendo were talking about getting into the soccer sphere.
I am going to get into it, but we're not doing that here.
All right, submitted questions time. Let's go. All right.
There's nothing more infuriating than having a wireless mouse while the battery is dying. And that is what I'm going through right now. Okay. It's the worst.
All right. So all right, submitted questions time. We have a question from are we going to
we're going to Jay's question. I told Ferris I'm not answering his question because Ferris does not know how to control himself.
Well, before we do that, because
wow, you couldn't think of anything else.
I'm not gonna name names, but somebody
it was me
had a question about how to submit questions. I don't know. I don't know how you had this question, but if you're wondering how to submit questions, literally any way you can get in touch with us is how you submit a question. Okay. Yes. You can email us, LBHTShow@gmail.com. You can DM us on any social media platform that we're on, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It's all the same at LBHTShow. Okay.
You can put it in the Discord.
You can put it in our Discord. Just let us know that it is a question for submitted questions.
You could come to the overtime show and just ask us.
Yeah, just let us know. Or we have a community tab on our YouTube channel, which is where most people submit the question. Okay, we make a post and people just put a question there. However you feel comfortable submitting a question, submit your question. All right, and we'll read it on air.
Yeah. So Jay's question: prediction on who gets cut / picked up this preseason in the NFL. I was really looking for a little more context than that, Jay, but we'll roll with it. We're gonna say, give us one maybe surprise cut from each of your teams.
Surprise cut? I hadn't even thought about that. It could be Ben Cleveland. This is how dire the offensive line is. Ben Cleveland could be the starter, or he could be cut.
It's incredible.
It's incredible
drama. Incredible drama. Ferris on the New York Football Giants.
No, there's not gonna be a surprise cut. They're gonna, like they cut like.
All right, I will answer for you, Jalen Hyatt.
No, they're not going to cut.
Incredibly surprising, Ferris.
Oh, yes, it would be surprising. Okay, yeah, it would be surprising, yes. But it's not going to happen because they're not going to cut the kids they drafted because it's one of their guys. That's why they didn't really go after Xavier McKinney like that because they're like, well, he's not really, we like him. He plays safety. We'll just replace him in the draft. But yeah, I don't think if they're going to cut a receiver, they're going to cut a receiver that's now one of. Like Darius Slayton will get cut. Yeah, they'll cut that guy.
So 2 weeks ago, it was too much. Now you want more. What do you want from me?
Yeah. By the way, for the record, about the submitted questions, I just followed Jose's instructions, and he laughed at me still. I don't understand.
Well, that's because he told you to put it on Twitter with a hashtag, and then you went in the Discord and used a hashtag, and it didn't work properly, and it was all messed up. But anyway,
it wasn't messed up.
It was messed up. It didn't work.
You can use hashtags, but not for that one.
I just want to say that Tyrese dressing up as Marvin Gaye to sing the national anthem is despicable. But for Carolina, I'm kind of in the same boat with you, Ferris. I don't know that there's any surprise cuts for a team as bad as the Panthers.
I'm saying, dog.
But I'm gonna go with. I mean, I hate to say it because it's not a surprise. It wouldn't be a surprise, but either Miles Sanders or Miles Sanders isn't going to get cut because Jonathan Brooks isn't ready to go. I'm just going to say Terrace Marshall. I think we're all expecting it, but it's not a surprise. But I think that's the guy to go. But for Carolina, for the Giants, there's not really there's no.
And let's be real. Also,
Thielen.
Adam's not going anywhere.
I don't think he's going anywhere. But what if they say Jonathan Mingo looks good? What if Terrace Marshall is breaks out and they say, hey, you know what? We got Xavier Leggett, we got Deontay Johnson, and Jonathan Mingo's looking good. We don't really need.
They still don't have enough receivers. So I mean, even in that scenario, Thielen wouldn't be cut.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to get cut. I just don't.
Also, too, let's talk about the last cuts, right? The last 16 cuts. Some of those players may not be really. They're going to be cut, but some of them may just fall back on their practice squads.
Yeah.
Because now, practice squad used to be 10, then it went up to 12. Now it's 16. So let's say you be like, oh, we really like you. The last 10 to 15 cuts. You're like, oh, we love you. We're going to cut you, but we're going to resign you to put you on. And a lot of the players do that and get signed on the practice because they don't unless they're guaranteed starting jobs elsewhere or on actual rosters. Some of them agreed to the practice squad cut, the cut practice squad option. It happens all the time.
I think the new format of preseason, there's going to be less surprises because the four game format was taken a little bit more seriously. You had guys, your starters will play a little bit. You had your dress rehearsal game. You had guys that are fighting for positions, and we paid attention a little bit more, right? They had that extra game to try to make the team and try to perform. So there are guys that will impress you early on and say, oh, we think he's going to make the team. And then they end up getting cut. Whereas 3 games, nobody's playing, because the first couple games of the year, they're starting to be treated like preseason. People are paying less and less attention to these preseason games. So when guys get cut, you're just like, who? Or
it's the Rams.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rams. The first year with Sean McVay, he didn't play a single starter at all for 2 straight weeks. Yeah. Jared Goff wasn't playing. I think Brandon Cooks was there. And then, Aaron Donald was there. They didn't play at all. And the Rams kind of changed the way people looked at preseason games. Because they're like, do we really need to take that seriously? It's like, nah, bro, it's preseason. Who cares? And everyone's kind of followed Sean McVay's way.
But even with that, when with 4 games, because when they were on Hard Knocks, was it Junior Seau's nephew? Wasn't he on the team?
Yeah,
he had played well, and I thought he was a shoo-in to make the team, and he got cut. That surprised me.
Clay Johnston, Daryl Johnston. I don't know So his name was Clay Johnston. He was a linebacker out of Baylor. They were gonna cut him. They're like, we want to keep you on practice squad. He was like, nah, I'm out. I'm gonna go play for my dad in Carolina because his dad was the strength and conditioning coach in Carolina. I think his name was Johnston. Brodny, I don't know if you remember that game.
I don't know.
No, okay, yeah. They're like, we really like you. And they're like, and he was like, cool, that's cool and all, but Pops is calling.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play.
All right, next question.
All right, this is our last question for the evening, and then we're getting up out of here because it's getting dangerously close to 2 hours.
Yeah, it is.
This one is from none other than Ferris.
Yeah.
So disappointed in you.
Okay.
What are your first Olympic memories and your favorite moment from Paris? I'm disappointed in Ferris because I asked him about this specific memory. He wasn't alive yet, but I asked him.
You should have asked him. He's going to look it up.
I thought he had self-control. I asked him, and I said, okay, well, don't look it up. I'm going to tell you about it on the show. And he's like, okay. And he got all excited, and he had this smile on his face. I thought it was a nice moment. And then mere moments later, I'm looking at Ferris, and Ferris he's kind of looking off camera, and he's not being very talkative. I'm like, you're Googling it, aren't you? and then he lied to me, and that made it even more disappointing. He was looking it up. What I'm referring to,
I didn't tell you the truth.
The 1992 Olympics, or the run up to the 1992 Olympics, the summer of Dan and Dave. Dan O'Brien and Dave Johnson, who were decathletes from the U.S. They had a whole Reebok campaign, just, kind of encouraging everybody to cheer for Dan and Dave. And they were everywhere for a while leading up to the Olympics. You could not get away from it. It was incredible. And I thought they would, I was about 9 at that point, and I thought they were the greatest athletes the world had ever seen, because how else could you get in all these commercials? And I'm like, this is going to be incredible. And then Dan didn't even make the Olympics on a couple of events, and they switched up the marketing to have Dan cheering on Dave, and it was just all a big flop. One of them went on and got a gold medal in '96, but by that point, nobody cared. Couple of frauds, but that was one of my first Olympic memories. It was a great memory at the time, up until he didn't make the team. And then
Jesse Owens.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of Nazis, man.
Yeah. As far as my favorite moment from Paris, I think that my favorite, there was a lot of really memorable stuff that happened, obviously. Some of it bad, some of it good. I think my favorite moment was, like Ferris had mentioned earlier, the pass off between Gabby Thomas and Sha'Carri Richardson and the women winning that relay. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. In the rain. Nice.
Carl Lewis was probably my earliest memory. Right. The Olympic. My favorite part of the Olympics was, I keep forgetting that guy's name. That won the 400.
Michael Johnson.
All the gold teeth.
Ben Johnson. Oh, you talking about Michael Johnson with the gold shoes?
With the gold shoes?
No. I'm talking about from this Olympics. You said
Quincy Hall. Quincy Hall, man.
Okay. Yeah. That was my favorite moment. Only because, man, like that is the poster child for never give up. Because he went from being not going to medal, and the guy that was first was comfortably ahead. He slowed down, and Quincy Hall did not give up. You could see it on his face.
He looked like there were cosmic forces ripping his body apart.
He gave it his all. He didn't stop, and the dude that was in first didn't even realize he was running up on him, and my man got gold. Mm-hmm. He got gold. Kids, never give up until the finish line. Never stop. Okay? That will be played for years and years to come. It was a great moment.
Yeah.
You know how many football coaches were so happy that they got material for this season? They're gonna show you. Noah Lyles is like, you see, man. This is the difference between greatness and being good. You see that a nose, man, a nose. And then you see this man. He never gave up. Bro. He was 5th coming into the last corner. 5th, bro. The last corner, man. And he just. So Michael Johnson was working for BBC. He said Quincy Hall broke every single rule you do in the 400-meter race, because there's a rules to run the race. Like they break it up, like the 200. And it's like he broke every single rule. I'm never gonna tell any of my kids to do that because they're not Quincy Hall. Because what he did was abnormal for track standards. Because he broke every rule and he got gold.
Yeah, that was the first time that I'd ever seen somebody run faster than they're capable of running.
Right.
Yeah, man. That's St. Louis right there, man. That's St. Louis. Shout out to him. They interviewed his brother afterwards, and the family's just like losing their shit in the back. And his brother's like, his brother was like, didn't know words for him, and then like he starts saying he didn't know it, and then he was like, man, this is what we've been training for. This is what we live for. This is the moment, right? And he's like, it was amazing, man. It was amazing. Yeah.
That's the one thing about the Olympics. You have these moments, and you're happy for these athletes, right? Because they train 4 years for this. Sometimes their whole lives for this moment. And for it to pay off for him like that, man. It's a great story, you know.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing.
All right, that is the show. The overtime show is getting ready to start. We're going to talk some more Olympics. Okay, we're going to talk our favorite moments. We're going to talk controversial moments and some bad moments, all that stuff. Okay, you can find that on our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHTShow. Oh, also, look, I've been wearing the shirt all day. I ain't even hashtag defund the defense. Okay, I know some of you guys are wondering what's this shirt say? Hashtag defund the defense. All right, I had to break it out. I had to dust it off because what EDC is doing to the Ravens right now on offense is despicable. If you don't know what hashtag defund the defense is, that is me and Brodny's term for saying stop putting all your resources into the defense. They're fine. Start spending money on the offensive side of the ball. Okay, you can get one of these on our store. Okay, LBHTShow.com/shop. /shop. I haven't said it in so long. LBHTShow.com/shop. Go check out the website. Go check out our merch. You like the beanie that B's wearing over there? Okay, even the hoodie, all that stuff, everything that we wear, you can find on our store. So go check that out if you like the gear. All right. But patreon.com/LBHTShow is where you can find us next for the overtime show. B, are you ready?
I am ready.
Ferris, before we go, let the people know where they can find you.
Find me on the Let's Get Ready Network channels on the highlights and the entertainment. Highlights every Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific. Me and Caleb talk NFC East. We talk Giants, Cowboys, and some Eagles, some Commanders. And then 8 o'clock on certain weeks, the Open Table. 8 o'clock, my long form interview show / co-show with Dearica on certain weeks, where I talk to people just about life and what they love and the pursuit. Shout out to these gentlemen here who have been on the show individually and as a team. I appreciate it. Trying to get more consistent with it, trying to find more people for that Friday slot.
All right. All right. So, and Ferris will be hanging out with us for the overtime show as well. So again, one more time, patreon.com/LBHT
Talk about my favorite
show.
Olympic moment.
Yes, his favorite Olympic moment. So check us out. B's ready. Everybody have a great night. We're back. Football's a couple weeks away. All right. So we're going to see you next time. Peace.